Good afternoon, guys, and happy Sunday to all of your sunshiny faces, guys. I am a little bit more productive and happy with what I was able to get done today than yesterday, where I felt like my wheels were just spinning and nothing was getting done. We tried to hang up that door yesterday, found out that the door was actually kind of semi-broken. It wouldn't end up actually hanging up correctly. And then we ended up getting the stuff for the cabinet. We knew that we needed a replacement, well, not cabinet, the drawer. We knew we needed a replacement drawer and couldn't find that, but we got that and weren't able to do that project because we don't have the drawer that we need to attach to the new like sliders. So that was, again, something we didn't get done yesterday, but today me and my dad ended up we just needed one piece for a like a platform bird feeder, which we could have possibly ended up buying one, but I didn't notice any at Menards. And the only kind that I know of that I've seen are normally ones that hang, like either from trees or you can hang on a shepherd's hook, but we wanted one that was like we could just stake it into the ground, because my mom had this idea to use it was like an old said like something about coffee. It was like a little tray sort of, and it was like decorative, like you hung it up on the wall. My mom was like, well, let's just get rid of it. And then she was like, well, you know what, it's kind of nice the way it has like kind of like, you know, higher raised side, sort of like a tray does, like a serving tray, I guess that's what I'm going for. So it had those, and my mom was like, well, instead of just getting rid of it, why don't you turn it into a platform feeder? So me and my dad got the wood that we're just going to make basically into a stake and put outside, and put it in the ground. And we're just going to turn the piece of wood into the stake, which was, I think, a $2 or $3 piece of wood, and we got a $3 can of spray paint. So for $5 we were going to make our own, pretty much. And all my dad needed to do was, what we did today was actually drill holes into the tray so that the water drains out. So we put like probably close to 100 tiny little holes in there, and just so that it is not like stagnant water, and then if we have birds food in there, the birds are going to wind up you know, like it's going to be sloppy, messy, goopy mess. So we want to make sure that it drains, because a lot of the ones that I've seen are mesh ones. But if we did that, then we wouldn't have been able to mount it from the bottom. So we could have possibly done like some chain sort of and actually made it ourselves so that it would hang, and just gotten a shepherd's hook. But again, shepherd's hooks are like at least $10 to $20, depending on the height of the size that you're getting. So again, they're not the best you know, price, I guess, for you know, what we pretty much can do for $5. So again, that's what we were working on. But then, I don't know, my outdoor project mind started rolling today, and was thinking about a couple of different things that we might wind up doing with the bird feeders, because we've got a problem with somebody who's right back there, and a couple of the other dogs, the two other ones. One is in the hallway right now, you can see her, she's laying down there, trying to eat the bird seed that the birds have thrown off of the feeders, which we don't want them to. And on top of that too, where they eat, they also you know, leave their waste products there too, and we don't want the dogs eating that too, even if they're just trying to go for the seed. So again, we've put up a little like decorative fence that we got from Menards actually today, because it's basically been somebody standing out in the yard with a spray bottle to keep them away from the bird feeders. And I told you guys too, we put bird feeders in the front yards, but the birds just do not seem to be attracted to them at all. Maybe if we moved the feeders, they would be like, holy cow, and I'll move to the front and like hang out there maybe. But it seems like in the area that it is, there's a lot of trees in the backyard versus in the front yard. Like our front parkway, our pretty much entire house all the way to the end of the, well, ours and the neighbor's house don't have any trees on the what's it called, the parkway. And there's one, the neighbor's next to us, But then there's none in their front yard or their backyard. And then that live next door, there's one in their backyard, but again, that's where our backyard is too. So that's why those birds that are coming from like those trees and hanging out there, because I told you guys we don't have any trees on our property. We have 2 bushes that are mature in the front yard, but they don't seem to really like hanging out in there all too much. I mean, we'll see them in there every once in a while, but a lot of times they like to go, I think the neighbors behind us have like a cypress tree, I think that's what it is, and also maybe it's an evergreen as well, or some type of like pine tree. I don't think it's an evergreen, but there are, maybe the other neighbor next to us does, but they've got like some type of pine trees, which the birds seem to kind of enjoy a little bit. But again, the front yard just seems like not the best place to attract them. They just don't seem very interested. The backyard, they will come, even if we're in the backyard, like, you know, doing stuff and things like that, they will still kind of hang out back there, even if they do get a little skittish. But like today, my dad was actually cleaning the grill, and I was sitting on the deck, and they were just like chilling there with us too. I saw a bunch of different birds that I actually, oh well, no, I think it was a goldfinch. I haven't seen one yet. I also saw a female cardinal, which I hadn't seen yet. I saw the male cardinal a bunch. I actually saw 2 male cardinals today, but I haven't seen the female, and so I finally saw the female today, which is pretty cool. But again, saw all that while I was actually just sitting in the backyard. So they seem very like they're not skittish around people being in the backyard, but in the front yard, like if anybody walks on the sidewalk or if we come out of the house, they immediately are gone. So and I've again only seen them a couple times at the feeder that's in the front yard, not so much, you know, as compared to as much as we have like Wild Kingdom in the backyard. So it's like probably at some points we can have like 6 different varieties of birds all at the same time, and like up to 10 to 20 birds at once. So this morning there was a ton of them, between like just regular sparrows and finches, and then there was, like I said, cardinals and doves and grackles, and trying to think what else was there. Like I said, there was a couple different varieties, I think, of the finches. I saw the goldfinch, and then also to the a regular house finch. So yeah, there was, like I said, a bunch of different birds out there. But again, so we want to keep them in the backyard. We like sitting in the backyard and being able to watch them, and my mom likes being able to sit from the backyard and watch them, you know, like hang out, you know, back there, because when we're like, you know, we can't control who walks on the sidewalk out in front of our house, and so, but we can control, like, oh my gosh, if there's a really cool bird, like, don't go out yet, you know, or something like that, so we don't scare it away or spook it or whatever. But if there's people like walking up and down the street, or cars too, they might kind of be not frightened by cars, but just, you know, if we pull into the driveway or neighbors do or something like that, you know, we might scare them off more if they're in the front than in the back. And there's not as much overhead shelter, like they have trees kind of right above, sort of, and right near there. So again, that was the thing. We want to keep the feeders in the backyard, but we have to figure out a way to keep the dogs away. So we use this little decorative fencing, sort of, that will keep Bliss out, but we realized that Bravo's scared of it, so he doesn't even try to go through it. Charlie can actually fit right through it. So it's, out of the 3 dogs, we now only have to try and keep one away from the feeders, which is, I guess, a step up, versus trying to, you know, keep all 3 of them away at the same time. So again, my brain kind of started going, and then my mom was talking about it too, and so we think we maybe have a kind of somewhat maybe permanent-ish solution for a little while, but we'll see. So yeah, it would involve some concrete or pavers, or concrete and pavers, or I don't know, some different stuff. But it's gonna have to be a project for another day, probably another weekend at another time, maybe even next year project. For right now, again, we're not having too big of a problem trying to keep the dogs away in the backyard. So yeah, anyways guys, like I was going to say, the one bad thing about having the bird feeders in the backyard is that when we do take the dogs out, they scare all the birds away. And the birds sit like all on like all the garage roofs, because there's like 3 garage roofs right in near that area, and then in the trees too, or on the telephone wires. So they normally just sit there until the dogs leave, and they go back inside, and they come back down to the feeders. So but like I said though, they've gotten comfortable enough to the point where they just pretty much wait it out. It's not like they're completely terrified and then never come back to the feeders, just because we, you know, have been feeding them for so long now, a couple weeks, consistently for a couple of weeks. We had suets and stuff like that on there last year, but I honestly never kept up a whole ton with keeping the bird feeders totally filled. You know, like I would fill them up and then like, you know, a couple of weeks go by and I'd be like, oh, it's empty again, you know, and you know, not even realize like, oh, it'd been empty for a week, or it'd been empty for, you know, after that first week was emptied, you know, or something like that. So yeah, that was the one thing that I was, again, my brain was kind of going. I was looking up stuff on Pinterest and talking to my mom about it, my dad. My mom's neck was hurting her today, and then my dad's back was hurting him. So there wasn't a whole lot that we could really get done. The one thing that I did get done was I got the blinds hung up in here because Jack had finished painting the window last night or yesterday or something like that. So I got those hung up today, so that's good. We got that with our new light up here, and I like it. I think it's super cool too. But what we're gonna have to do tomorrow, because Matthew then was also, he had an upset stomach today. So it was like 3 out of the 5 people in the house were not feeling well. So me and Matthew have a project to get done for tomorrow. If it's not raining outside, that is a secret, top secret project, guys. I'll maybe show you guys or tell you what it is tomorrow, if we get it done or even close to anything. So we'll have to figure that out. But I think too, me and him should hopefully be able to move the refrigerator, because again, my dad couldn't do it because his back. My dad like has thrown his back out a couple times where he literally like can't move. And it hasn't happened in a really long time, like maybe 2 or 3 years, but it would happen a lot of times. I think honestly, he said that it used to happen every year right around spring, like normally right around Easter. Like there was several Easters where he couldn't go to like Easter like parties because like our family party for Easter, because his back was thrown out. So, like I can remember I think 2 or 3 years right in a row where he couldn't go. It hadn't, like I said, hadn't been for quite some time, and he was just starting to get kind of like back spasms. Like it wasn't super bad, he could still move and stuff like that, but obviously moving a refrigerator is probably not something you want to do when your back has started to act up. That's why he didn't get that out today, and it wouldn't have mattered because Matthew wouldn't have been able to paint or anything like that because he was not feeling good. So as long as he's feeling okay tomorrow, me and him are going to again get to our top secret project in the backyard done, and then also try and move this refrigerator out so that he can finish painting behind it, and then the kitchen will be done being painted. Other than the last couple cabinet doors, which my dad was able to get sanded today. So again, we were able to get a couple of little projects and things like that done, but it was all stuff that my dad really wasn't going to do like heavy lifting stuff with. So sanding and using the drill and stuff like that was okay stuff. But like honestly guys, I've hung these up twice now. This is the second time. This time was super easy because the holes were already there. I just had to screw, you know, the brackets in and everything like that. But pain, super huge pain because of this thing. I can't stand up like close enough, so my head has to be over on this side of like this thing, and it was a huge pain. I was like, and then I can't see what I'm drilling, so I was like going in blind half the time trying to be able to see it. And I had to stand on top of the counter because I couldn't stand on a step ladder because I was still too short to be able to actually reach it without completely like leaning over and feel like I was gonna fall out the window. So yeah, I hate hanging these windows. Like I did, well, the blinds. I did the ones in the kitchen or the living room too, and those ones I didn't have so much of a problem with. But again, the ones in the kitchen are the worst. I like didn't have, again, so much of a problem taking them down. Putting them back up is a huge pain. So yeah, anyways guys, that was kind of what I got to. I also did dishes. I don't know what else I really got to today. I felt like I was kind of sitting around for a little while also, but my dad also ended up cleaning, like deep cleaning the grill. He took all the pieces out. We got barbecue cleaner from Menards yesterday when we went, or no, maybe it was actually when we went on Thursday or whatever it was, because we've been in Menards now 3 times in the last like 4 days. And me and Matthew will probably have to go tomorrow because we know, we're almost positive we have to get a piece for the backyard project. Because I don't think that what we got came with it. But again, I'll share with you guys that. So yeah guys, there's a lot of stuff that we still have to get done, and we're hoping to have it finished by 4th of July. Don't think that that's gonna happen. Like I don't know how close we're getting to now it being on Saturday, and my dad's gonna be off of work on Friday, so like hopefully we can get a whole ton of stuff done. But that's only if his back is not acting up and he is able to actually get some of this stuff done. He said that it was possibly from yesterday when he was trying to hang the door, because of the, I don't know, just holding the door up and stuff like that, and having to try and do it like at a weird angle and stuff, and like, you know, you don't have a super great grip when you're trying to put a door in, so like he trying to hold that, I guess he said, was possibly what was making it hurt yesterday. Even though it was a 3-person job, me, Matthew, and my dad were all out there at one point trying to hang it up. But I told you guys that whole that whole story yesterday, which is why I'm not super happy, because I feel like, honestly, I'm like, oh, this was all I got done this weekend. Like this entire weekend I hung up some blinds and that was it. And like, not even that I can say like, oh, but I spent the whole weekend like editing or got other stuff done. I spent time getting things done that actually were things that ended up having to be taken out again and didn't actually get finished or get done or correctly. And like I said too, like me and my dad drilled the holes in that platform bird feeder, but we don't know what we're gonna do with it and when we're gonna get it done. Like it could be a period of time before it actually is gonna be finished. But we're gonna try and cement the bottom of it, basically. I guess I could have told you guys this, but yeah, the whole big idea would possibly involve it being cemented. I think we can get that done without actually having to have it like, and we can still use it, I guess, if that makes sense, before like just leaving it as a cement block in the ground. We were gonna do it as a stake in the ground, but that's kind of hard when it's just a regular piece of wood. This way too, it actually will sit up a little higher than us having to make a stake and then put it, you know, about a foot or about 6 inches or so into the ground, so that it's sturdy enough. And then again, we don't know how sturdy it's going to be, so I was like, why not just use some cement, because that'll work easy. So I think that's what the plan is going to be, and then again, it can work into our big overall project that we're probably going to do. So anyways, guys, yeah, my big project for this weekend was getting some blinds hung up. And like I said, it would have been more rewarding if it wasn't just screwing a couple screws into the already like made holes that I already had them. I just rehung them, and after we took them down to paint, and I just put them back up. It wasn't like it was a whole new project that I did. No, I've done that before, and that's the worst one. I hate doing those. So yeah, like I said, I'm trying to tell you guys like, oh, we also got to this or we got to that. No, nothing else interesting happened today. Other than Jack is currently painting the closets in my mom's office, and so that's why I have some of my clothes are on my bed and I have to sleep with them tonight or move them to my chair or something. So anyways, guys, oh, I was gonna tell you guys, I guess I can show you guys tomorrow, since it's the first day I'm gonna use my new planner. That was one other thing I got done. I did set up my planner for this week, and I just ordered this planner off of Amazon. I'm actually, honestly, guys, really liking it. I made a little modification, which I'll show you guys tomorrow, but already I'm like, wow, I really like this planner, and it has weekends unlike the one I was using before. So yeah, anyways, guys, I will see you all in tomorrow's vlog. If you guys did enjoy today's, make sure you guys give a big old thumbs up. If you guys are new, we'd love if you'd subscribe, and I'll see all of your sunshiny faces tomorrow. So bye, guys.